All right, I'm gonna cut it again. All right, single and looking. All right. What are your strengths just internally right now? And what are your challenges? And this one I really like. How do I define what I'm looking for? How do I find who is the one? And what does that mean to you? Right? And it's kind of about where your heart space is. And then we're going to look at what steps and resources we need to move forward, looking for a relationship. All right. Strengths. 6 of Pentacles, balance. You have found some balance in yourself. And this is in the earth sign. This is in the stability, money, career, house and home, health. You have found some balance. And this is about give and take. This is about being willing to accept and receive, and also knowing when is the time for you to put in, for you to make that effort. And you know, it's an exchange. So your strength is, and I would ask you to ask yourself this, are you really ready to put yourself out there and find this? You know, this is kind of almost like a goal. Are you ready to find this? And, you know, what's interesting to me is the challenge is the Knight of Wands, which is fiery and can move very, very fast. And passion and maybe get you in over your head is what's coming through. But with, you know, there's such joy with this deck with the Knight of Wands. But this is a fast moving knight, and sometimes reckless, and sometimes not tapping into the groundedness that this strength is going to give you. Also, the knight could be the person that's going to come charging in, and, you know, you might have to really fight a little bit for that balance of give and take. You don't want to get swept off your feet too fast, which the Knight of Wands can do in the relationship realm. All right, let's take a look at what we can do to find the one. And I love that we got the 3 of Cups, because this is about partnership. This is about supporting each other. So your one is somebody that you really want to have that deep connection, friendship, and support with. And I love that they've got the Big Dipper here that our 3 figures are looking at. This is also very strongly about circle of friends. So, you know, trust your friends to maybe vet the people that you're meeting a bit. You know, we always want to introduce people that we're truly thinking that we have a connection with to our friends and family, you know, just to get their perspective. It still comes down to you, of course, and the relationship that you're forging with that other person. But, you know, go to your support groups. Go to your support groups also for ideas of people to meet. I mean, I know everything now is all about the internet connections and the dating sites, but, you know, don't disregard the fact that the people you know and who love you and care about you also have connections with many, many other circles that you may not be in. And, you know, letting people know you're looking is step 1 for people to get that aha. Oh my gosh, you know, I know Joe and Janet would be great together. But anyway, I love that this came up, the 3 of Cups, and that companionship for looking for the one. And like I said, this is sometimes about soul searching, you know. Make sure you are integrated in yourself and feel solid about who you are, that, you know, you can then share that with someone else. All right, the one. You're going to need to look beyond just yourself and look for some support and help. And the one, when they come, you know, is going to be someone that you can trust, have that companionship, and, you know, just, you know, maybe a soulmate is almost coming to mind. All right. The last card that I want to look at for single and looking is, you know, what resources, what skill sets, what next steps do we need to take to meet the one? I think you can see what I'm going to pull up here. We had this in a weekly reading not too long ago. 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords, and I love how this deck depicts it. The 10 of Swords is about an ending. But because this is in our logic and thought processes, you've already done the work. This person is already stepping out into the new dawn and walking away from the thought processes and troubles and trials and tribulations that, you know, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith is a person laying down on the ground in a pool of blood with all the swords in their back. This is not what this is about. This is the steps have been taken and we're moving forward. So I think this very strongly says you're ready. You know, whatever processes you've gone through to heal, getting that self-confidence, I think, and the Knight of Wands, you know, I think is really telling you, have that self-confidence to charge forth and trust yourself. Keeping that balance with the Six of Pentacles, you know, again, this is earth. This is about solidity. This is about feeling, you know, equity in give and take. But you are ready. You know, even those ravens, which represent the 10 swords, they're not stuck to the ground. They're not stuck to the person like we saw in some of the other readings with this deck where they were kind of picking at the person. They're flying ahead. They're leading the way into the dawn. I'm going to just hold that up there for you for a moment so you can enjoy how that feels. You know, we've turned our back on the past and we're moving forward. And I want to pull a soul card for you also. We've been going 45 minutes here, and I know this is a super long video. I'll be chopping it up, but I will put it out in its entirety. Again, I want to say this is a general reading for the collective, but if this resonates with you, I'd love you to put resonates in the comments. And remember, you can share this. You know, we've done all 4 of the zodiac groupings of signs, so this may apply to someone else in your life. Let's go ahead and do the soul card for you. Single and looking. Hope you're enjoying this as much as I have enjoyed doing it with you. All right. To whom am I comparing myself right now? What you are able to see in another is only visible because it is within you. Ready to be brought out. Shine light on this feeling of not enough and see the truth. All that you need and want is within you. Your action today, your soul action, today I'm going to stop comparing and start creating. And I think that is a lovely mantra to be your true, authentic self if you are looking for love. Be your true, authentic self. You know, if you meet somebody, you go on that blind date, you get hooked up with somebody through a friend, you know, just be who you are. There's no reason to hide. There's no reason to try to be something that you're not. Be authentic. You know, you don't have to share everything on the first date, right? You know, you don't want to go into all of the trauma and drama of your past, but just be who you are today and love who you are today. You are enough. All that you need and want is within you. And then that will be reflected back to you from the other person. They will see your authenticity. And I think you will also be able to see if they are being authentic with you or not, and make that judgment call. You know, it's okay to say next when meeting people. You know, sometimes we just have to throw ourselves out into that big swimming pool and try on some different people to see how they fit. And I think that authenticity with yourself, you know, you're not going to have any problem discerning right away. I'm being authentic. I'm either getting that from the other person or I'm not. So enough dating advice from Gracious Gifts Tarot. Anyway, I just thank you all for joining me for Tea, Toast, and Tarot. I will be doing this again, and it may not be about relationships, and I may put a poll out there to see kind of what people want to talk about with me. And this is just informal chatting, just me sharing myself authentically with you. Until next time, just take care. Check out the dailies, rewatch this, share this. It all helps me get the message out, and hopefully we're finding this positive. And I will just say, you know, take what resonates and leave the rest. But sometimes a little kernel that you may not have thought was something for you may pop back up again, and you're going, aha, that's why I watched that video. Until next time, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.